Have over 50 years of combined automotive experience, so when you need service, give us a call at Auto Air Electric, 3042 Maddox Street behind Car Credit in Tupelo.
Will Colmeyer, welcome back to our final segment of the Davis Ford pregame show. We're just moments away from that First American National Bank first pitch between ICC and East Mississippi. And joining me right now is Jim Ingram, a familiar voice that we've heard on our ICC football and basketball broadcasts, helping out a little bit here in Game 2. Welcome to the booth.
Thank you, Will. Glad to be here. I know the game's getting ready to start. It's an exciting time. Our softball ladies are playing extremely well. Moving on toward the playoffs. We're very proud they got the victory in Game 1, and now we're starting Game 2.
Here's Kristen Mitchell and Montana Hawkins. First American National Bank first pitch is a swing and a miss. Strike one, 0-1 the count. We are just underway here in Game 2 at 4:07 on an absolutely gorgeous Thursday afternoon, Monday, Thursday, here at ICC. And pitch is high, 1-1 the count. And Jim, I know been very busy lately. You've got the big fundraiser coming up, the ICC Foundation riding the Tanglefoot Trail 2 weeks from Saturday. We'll get you to talk about it after this pitch. Fly ball, left field, drifting over toward the line and making the catch is Schenkel for the first out on Kristen Mitchell here in the top of the first. Let's talk about this Tanglefoot Trail, a fun ride that's coming up in 2 weeks.
We're looking forward to it, Will. It's a way to raise money for the foundation for scholarships. And so our foundation president, Jim Mounts, had an outstanding idea to have a bike ride. It's not a race. It's just a ride, and we're going to do it May 3rd from 7:30 to 3:30. We start in Pontotoc. You go to Houston and back to Pontotoc. Everybody needs to come out. We'll have security. We'll have waters. We'll have things to eat. We'll have a good time that day.
Fly ball to right field and drifting back a few steps and making the catches Hopper and right to retire Corey Dawkins for the second out here in the top of the first.
Yeah, we got to maneuver this. We can't miss any of the games.
No.
But we're looking forward to that day, May 3rd in Pontotoc. We've got some great sponsors that are giving us some money already that's going to help in our scholarship program. We're asking people to go out and ride. And let's say, Will, you decide to ride 10 miles. You find 5 people to sponsor you, say $1 a mile. Then when you come in, you turn in that you rode your 10 miles. We are responsible as the school to contact those 5 people and collect the money. We just want the riders to have a fun time. The school will collect the money, and it's going to be a fun day. Now, we've got some families that might come out, Will. If they just want to ride a couple miles and then come in, that's fine. They don't even have to pay for anything. We just want them to have a fun day.
Stanfield bounces back to Hawkins in the circle, and that takes care of East Mississippi. A 3-up, 3-down, top of the first. Throw a donut on the scoreboard, brought to you by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop here in Fulton. We go to the bottom of the first. No score between ICC and EMCC.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First American National Bank in Fulton, doing business the old-fashioned way. First American National Bank, with convenient locations all over Northeast Mississippi. By the Subways in Fulton, Tupelo, Saltillo, and Nettleton. Subway, eat fresh.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Davis Ford in Fulton. Need a new car, van, or SUV? Give Davis Ford a call at 862-3711. By Coca-Cola, Coke, and ICC. Now that's the winning combination.
And by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop in downtown Fulton. Sweet Cheeks is open daily for breakfast and lunch and is the only place in Fulton where you can get hot, freshly made donuts.
Will Colmeyer, Jim Ingram back here in Fulton as we head to the bottom of the first in Game 2 of the doubleheader between 17th-ranked ICC and EMCC. Lady Indians took Game 1 7-2. And here in the bottom of the first, it'll be Haley Moore, Kat Carver, and Corey Watterson coming to the plate. Jim Ingram, the director of our foundation, is joining us. I know a lot of folks might have some questions about this ICC Foundation riding the Tanglefoot Trail. How can they get a hold of you if they've got some questions or would like to register between now and May 3rd?
Well, what they need to do, they can call me at my office, 862-8047, or call my cell, 213-9924. If you want to go on our webpage, it's iccms.edu. And there's also a webpage out there for that people are familiar with that ride bikes, that run. It's called racesonline.com. You can register register there. You can register on iccms.edu, and we'll register that morning. We'll have paperwork there at 7:30 on May 3rd. That morning, you can register there at the event.
Haley Moore, who went 3 for 3 in game 1 with 2 runs scored. First pitch was low, 1-0 the count. This pitch is a strike called on the inside corner, 1-1 the count. Moore definitely received honorable mention for our Sonic Star of the game in game 1. We went with the starting pitcher Hannah Johnson and the reliever Kara Hopper, who combined on a one-hitter. But Moore was terrific at the plate. And that leadoff spot, 3 for 3 and 2 runs scored. This is a pop-up, and the pitcher Hackney is calling for it, and that is the first out here in the bottom of the first. No score between ICC and EMCC. What kind of response have you received so far, Jim, on this riding the Tanglefoot Trail, which will be on May 3rd?
Well, we're very pleased. We've got some sponsors that are helping us on the front end. We've had a few people register online. We feel like we're really going to have a nice walk-up crowd May 3rd. We hope and pray the weather cooperates. But we got the local bike clubs, the bike club in Pontotoc, Oxford, Tupelo, that are really helping us, and they know the racers, they know the bike riders, and we're leaning on them because it's a new adventure for us.
Sure.
I'm not a bike rider, but we're learning as we go. We just want it to be a fun day, and we want a great crowd to come out. You know, we're going to have snack bars.
There's a base hit. Excuse me. It's going to go all the way to the wall for Kat Carver. It's going to be an extra base hit and a stand-up double with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Kat Carver delivers the first extra base hit of the afternoon. There were no extra base hits in the game 1 where ICC won at 7-2, but Carver gets a 1-out double here in the bottom of the first, and here's Corey Watterson.
You interrupt me anytime we get a big hit.
Yes.
I will shut up finally. But no, we're looking forward to the ride. And we want people to come out and have a fun day on May 3rd. We've got a lot of volunteers helping us here at the school, and we're looking forward to it.
This first pitch is a strike called on the inside corner. 0-1 the count to Corey Watterson, who went 0 for 2 officially in game 1. She did have a sacrifice fly to drive in a run. She leads the team in RBIs, batting average, home runs, having herself quite a year. She's verbally committed to Delta State. And there's a strike called. Look for the official announcement possibly tomorrow.
I know you don't want my comments, but that was a nasty curveball right then.
Yes, it was.
Nice looking pitch from East Mississippi.
No, you come on, are you kidding me? You can fill in some gaps there. You helped us out, filled in admirably. Michael Putt in football broadcasts and did a lot of those state championship, quite a few of the regular season games, along with that state championship run by the ICC men's basketball team.
We had a great time. I just ride the coattails of Will and Adam. That's all I do.
There you go. 1-2 the count to Watterson with Carver at second. That double just moments ago, the first hit for either team here in a scoreless bottom of the first. Check swing, Watterson. Did she commit? The base umpire said no. They appealed it. Dickie Miller, the home plate ump, asked the base umpire, and he said no. So the count is now 2-2 with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Henderson is on deck for the red and blue of Itawamba. Hackney on the hill, or in the circle, I should say, for East Mississippi. There's a changeup and high. 3-2 the count. So May 3rd is the ICC Foundation riding the Tanglefoot Trail, and I know all of us in community relations, under the leadership of Dr. Jan Reed Bunch, it's all hands on deck that weekend.
No doubt. And we know there's a lot of things going on at the college, and we might be spread out in different areas, but I know a lot of people will volunteer and help that day, and we appreciate it.
There's a pop-up foul out of play, and we'll do it again at 3-2. I know you've been working with Larry Boggs, who was on our in-between game coverage. That interview brought to you by your ICC Foundation today. You're getting some of the Indian delegation members to help out as well.
Some of the best, the Indian delegation. Larry Boggs has helped us, Emily Tucker. We appreciate what they're doing. They're getting us some volunteers. We're probably going to reach out and find some other volunteers to help us out that morning, but it should be a fun time for the school and for people coming out. We just want it to be a beautiful day, a day to have good recreation, get out there and do some exercise and have fun with the ICC family.
Here's the 3-2 from Hackney to Watterson. Popped up. Will it drift out of play? Yes, it will, down the third baseline, and we'll do it again. No score, bottom of the first between ICC and EMCC. And you mentioned the president of your foundation, Jim Mounts, Very successful man in his career and kind of spearheading this run, this ride, if you will.
No doubt, Will. Jim Mounts is from Ecru, and he came here, went to school here, then went on to Ole Miss and got his graduate and became an attorney. Then worked a number of years in Omaha. Woodman of the World. Is a very humble, very nice Christian man. He has a lot of love for ICC, and he has really been active for our foundation.
Watterson grounds to short. Mitchell throws over to first in time to get Watterson on the play. Carver goes to third, so 2 outs. And here's the cleanup hitter, Emily Henderson, who went 2 for 3 in game 1. Scored a run. Drove in 2. She was the only Lady Indian to drive in more than 1 run in that 7-2 victory. Henderson saw her in between games. Had a huge smile on her face, and why not? Has played a nice game, and this one's fouled out of play down the first base line. 0-1 the count to Henderson. She was up in a similar situation in the bottom of the first in game 1 with 2 outs. We had a runner at third, and she had a 2-out, 2-strike, little flare to center to score the first run of the game. Let's see if she can get another base hit with 2 outs in the bottom of the first to score the first run of game 2. In the dirt, nice job by the catcher for EMCC in game 2. That is Roberts again, not allowing Carver to score. That thing had wild pitch written all over it. 1-1 the count with 2 outs here in a scoreless bottom of the first. That's in the dirt, and slotted in and scoring is Cat Carver on the wild pitch. And ICC is up 1-0. Nothing like being opportunistic. It doesn't matter if you're doing a football broadcast with me or a basketball. ICC, the red and blue, opportunistic on that one.
No doubt about it, Will. And the ball did get by the catcher. And you got to give our hitter a lot of credit because that's our cleanup hitter, one of our best hitters on the team. So she had to mix up her speed, try to throw an inside-outside, took some chances on the pitches, and one got away from her there.
And that wild pitch scores Carver, and it's 1-0 ICC in the bottom of the first. That pitch is low. And it's now 3-1 the count to Emily Henderson with Kara Hopper on deck. Henderson hits from the right side against the right-handed throwing Hackney. Henderson starting the day at 279. She now has 4 home runs and 25 runs batted. And there's a swing and a miss. 3-2 the count. Anything to add with the ride coming up, that bike ride?
Well, we're just looking forward to it, and we feel like we'll have a good walk-up crowd. If you have not registered, don't worry about it. We'll have the sheets there for you to register. We'll have plenty of food for you to eat. We'll have snacks. We'll have security. We'll have EMTs if you need some help. So we're going to try to do it right, and we're looking forward to it.
Henderson grounds out to the second baseman, Evans, and that takes care of ICC in the bottom of the first. 1 run hit. There were no errors, and no one was left. We played 1. Can you stick around for another half inning?
Yes, sir.
It's 1-0 ICC over EMCC. We'll go to the second inning.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First National Bank in Pontotoc, with locations on South Main Street in Pontotoc and on Highway 15 in North Pontotoc. First National Bank, you're important to us, and we prove it.
And by JUCO Weekly. Log on to JUCOweekly.org to view scores, stats, news, photos, and videos from around the MACJC. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at www.JUCOweekly.org.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The BSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
We head to the top of the second. 1-0 ICC over EMCC in Game 2. Will Colmeyer alongside Jim Ingram and Adam Gore Chelsea Harlow is our studio engineer down at FM 95 Studios in Amory. We got James Puckett as our photographer for our video streaming at LetsGoICC.com. And the first pitch is a strike call to Jade Albritton. It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, Albritton, Roberts, and Baker, facing the right-hander Montana Hawkins here in the second inning. And a little something off of that one, and way out in front was Albritton, 0-2 the count.
Well, it looked like she threw a little changeup on her there. Kept her same motion as a fastball, and I'd be weighing out in front myself.
Jim, of course, is the director of our foundation. There's a pitches high, 1-2 the count, talking about the Riding the Tanglefoot Trail, a bike ride for fun that's coming up on May 3rd. This is the big fundraiser in the spring of 2014. Of course, it was just a year ago. That pitch is high, 2-2 the count. The big fundraiser was the roast of then retiring ICC President Dr. David C. Cole.
Right, and we had a very good time last June on the roast for Dr. Cole. And there's only one Dr. Cole.
That's right.
And we had a great turnout, raised some money for the foundation. So we came up with a new plan this year. Again, give Jill Mounts a lot of credit for coming up with this plan.
There's a smash down the first base line and a base hit for Albritton. They got past Henry, and so a leadoff base hit here in the second for East Mississippi, and that matches their total in Game 1, where they scored 2 runs on just 1 hit.
Number 14, Abby Roberts.
So here's the catcher, Abby Roberts. With nobody out here in the top of the second, ICC leads it 1-0. So the big fundraiser for ICC Foundation, this ride, it's not a race, there's a bunt, foul down the first base line. There's no trophies handed out. There's no championships to be won. It's just a great time, some nice exercise on the Tanglefoot Trail there from Pontotoc. It starts in Pontotoc and will end in Pontotoc.
Correct.
Correct.
And you can go to Algoma and turn around. You can go to Huck and turn around. You can go all the way to Houston and then come back. You can ride as much as you want. And, Will, you don't have to be there at 7:30. That's when we think most of your serious riders will be there.
Ground ball back to the pitcher, Hawkins. Nice job by Montana. Twirled around and got Albritton, the lead runner, for the first out at second. And then Roberts reaches on a fielder's choice, and here comes a pinch runner. Looks like that'll be Hull again. I think Beth Hull was the pinch runner in Game 1. Yes, Beth Hull is pinch running again in Game 2 for Roberts as well.
Well, what we'll do is we'll have the serious bike riders will be there at 7:30. But if you want to come at 9:30 and 10 and register and do a leisurely ride, that's fine. We're still going to be there. We'll register all morning to ride the trail.
That sounds great. 1 out. There's a slow roller back to Hawkins. The fire over to first in time to get Pepper Baker for the second out. On the play, Beth Hull, the pinch runner, goes to second. So East Mississippi now has a runner in scoring position with 2 outs here in the top of the second. And here's Anna McCrary, the designated player. McCrary did not play in Game 1. Hackney was the designated player. But in this game, Hackney is pitching for East Mississippi. That pitch is evidently a little bit outside. So 1-0 the count. With 2 outs here in the top of the second, ICC leading 1-0. Fastball, there's a strike call right down Main Street. 1-1 the count. ICC again, Jim, was named one of the nation's top 150 community colleges by the Aspen Institute College Excellence Program. Also named one of America's top community colleges by Washington Monthly, ranking 34th out of 700 eligible institutions. Pretty good cotton to hang out there with those 2 honors.
No doubt. And the school has done a tremendous job. We have a lot of leadership from President Eaton, of course, our leader, Dr. Jan Reed Bunch. A lot of good people here work at ICC, and we're very proud of the college, and we try to continue to do our best.
That foul out of play by McCrary. 2-2 the count. That's an ICC Spotlight brought to you by First National Bank in Pontotoc, spotlighting both of those honors for ICC, as once again this year named one of the nation's top community colleges by a couple different national publications. So 2-2 the count with 2 outs here in the second. So the deuces are wild on the scoreboard right now. ICC leads it 1-0. McCrary at the plate for the Lady Lions. ICC with that win in game 1 now 30-10. That pitch is low and inside. Count is full. That's the third year in a row that ICC has won at least 30 games. You talk about Andy Kirk and his program. He has picked up where Chad Case left off.
Hadn't missed a beat. Of course, Coach Case did a super job here, and Andy has just continued the excellence here in the softball program.
There's ball 4, low and inside of McCrary, so runners at first and second. Of course, Chad Case, now the director of housing at ICC. And so with runners at first and second, here's Mary Morgan Fortune, the first baseman.
0, Mary Morgan Fortune.
We talked about Jim, part of our new community relations department. Their pitch is low, and that'll allow the runners to advance to second and third. So a wild pitch, and it's now a final. Northwest in softball wins it over Northeast 7-3, and that wraps up the number 2 spot in the North for Northwest. That's a Trustmark Bank scoreboard update. Change-up is high by Montana Hawkins. It's 2-0 the count. Need to get Fortune out right here. We only lead 1-0, Jim, but they've got 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs.
No doubt. We need to get out of this. Got a good hitter up here with a little bit of trouble. 2-0, man on second, third, 2 outs.
There's a strike call on the inside corner. 2-1 the count. We talk about the new community relations department that you, Mark Todd, Adam Gore, myself are all part of. It encompasses social media, public information, media relations, alumni foundation, website publications, and special events. And there's a fly ball in the center field, but how? What a diving catch out in center by Dillard.
Super catch. She laid out. I thought it had base hit, 2-run, single, or double all over it. She ran it down. The ball was curving away from her wheel. She had to leave her feet, stretched out with her left hand, and made the catch. That's
a web gem brought to you by the National Guard by Dillard to rob Fortune of extra bases. In the inning, no runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 are left. Throw another donut on the scoreboard for East Mississippi in the top of the second. Brought to you by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop in Fulton. Jim Ingram, thank you for your help today, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thank you, Will. Appreciate it very much.
All right. Thank you so much. Jim Ingram joining us, the head of our foundation here at ICC. We're back in 30 seconds as we head to the bottom of the second inning. ICC leads game 2 1-0 after the Lady Indians took care of East Mississippi in game 1 7-2.
ICC Athletics on FM 95 Sports is brought to you in part by the National Guard. Always ready, always there, the National Guard. And by Pisons. Give Stan the Pizza Man a call at 862-4000.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First American National Bank in Fulton, doing business the old-fashioned way. First American National Bank with convenient locations all over Northeast Mississippi. By the Subways in Fulton, Tupelo, Saltillo, and Nettleton. Subway, eat fresh.
Will Kohlmeyer back here in Fulton. The crowd still buzzing over that Dillard catch. Heather Dillard, that's our defensive play of the game, brought to you by the National Guard. How sweet was that, Adam?
I'm going to nominate it for Defensive Play of the Year. Man, that was such a great play. The ball knifing away from her. She's showing off her speed. We've seen her on the bases. Not only does she got speed on the base, she got speed in the outfield and a Golden Glove as well. Man, that was big. Cut down a double and also cut down a pair of runs that could have been possibly scored by East Mississippi, and that's what we talked about. Get a quick 3-up, 3-down inning, take something to get that wind out of their sail, and that right there might have done it.
Here's Kara Hopper, fouled off the first pitch, 0-1. We're in the bottom of the second. ICC leads at 1-0. There's a strike call thanks to that tremendous play by Heather Dillard to rob Fortune of extra bases, and that definitely would have scored the 2 runners in scoring position. And that keeps it a 1-0 game. ICC in front after winning game 1 7-2. There's a changeup. Yes, took something off of that one, and Hopper just waved at it. That's all she could do, and that's a strikeout brought to you by Pit Stop Barbecue in Fulton, located right across the street from our David C. Cole Student Services building. And don't forget, they've got the regular nachos, the dirty nachos, which is loaded with beans and slaw. The Philly nachos includes sour cream and jalapenos, and French fry nachos. That's at Pit Stop Barbecue in Fulton. Pitch is low on the first pitch to Henry. Henry had a one plate appearance in game one, pinch hitted for Rachel Elder in the fourth and was caught looking. 0 for 1 on the day. Gets the start in game two at first base after Henderson played first base in game one for ICC. There's a strike call on the inside corner. 1-0 the count. Hackney, 5'6", a sophomore from Bayou Academy down in Cleveland in the Delta. Did you play them back in the high school days?
Never played Bayou. They were a lot better than us in football and baseball, so we never had to worry about seeing them in the playoffs.
There's a foul ball down the right field line. 1-2 the count to Henry.
We were a lot better than them in basketball, so we never had to see them.
Counter punches that. Henry at the plate, Langford on deck, Schenkel in the hole. We're in the bottom of the second, 1 out. ICC leads 1-0. Don't forget, tonight at 7 o'clock here on FM 95 Sports, the high school baseball rivalry gets renewed between Amory and Pontotoc.
That's a good one, too.
Through the years, they've had some battles.
I've had a chance to cover that series before coming here when I worked at TV7, and that was just, it's a good baseball game. The energy's always electric at either ballpark, so if you're listening, just keep us on your radio, drive around for a little while, then go watch it in person.
There you go. 2-2 the count to Henry with nobody on here in the bottom of the second. A lot of the Ole Miss fans. They've got LSU tonight in Oxford, coming off an emotional doubleheader, I should say a series this past weekend where they won 2 of 3 at Mississippi State in front of record-breaking crowds down in Starkville. That'll be a 6 o'clock airtime tonight on our AM stations, 1240 and 1580. Ole Miss against LSU.
Yeah, we just missed breaking that record that State set. They beat us by 15,500 at our baseball game.
There's a grounder back to Hackney in the circle. Flips over to first, and that takes care of Henry for the second out. We were just a bit off, weren't we, the other day? So close.
Just a bit.
So with 2 outs and nobody on, here's Langford.
Ashley Langford.
Ashley was the designated player in game one, went 1 for 3, had a big RBI single in that 4-run bottom of the fifth that salted it for ICC as we won game one 7-2.
Yeah, Ashley's done well for us this year. She was part of those 7 sophomores that were honored the other day before the Coahoma game, as this one's popped up and back out of play. She actually transferred in this season from Mississippi Delta, the Caledonia native. She was second-team All-State catcher last year at Mississippi Delta, North State at Mississippi Delta. So glad to have her this season, and she has been a big part of the reason why we've been able to hang 30 wins on the board this year.
For the 3rd straight year. And you're right, she was second-team All-North State. There's another changeup, and that was another strike call. Boy, Hackney's got a terrific pitch there. Yeah. The first-team All-State on the North was Anna Holly, wasn't it?
Of ICC.
Yes.
So not a bad way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Anna was a multi-sport athlete here. She played soccer for the Lady Indians as well.
Yeah, Sully and his Cody Carson, that pitch is in the dirt. 1-2 the count. They had a successful spring tournament, didn't they, yesterday down at East Central?
Yeah, they came up short in the championship game. They lost to themselves. ICC, both the teams played in the championship game in the men's side. So the blue team beat the red team for the championship. So a great way to sort of get a lot of momentum going for next season. The girls finished second. They went 1-1-1 in that 7-on-7 tournament. So a lot of positives coming out of East Central yesterday from the 7-on-7 soccer tournaments.
That's Mike Sullivan and Cody Carson. That's an ICC Spotlight brought to you by First National Bank in Pontotoc, spotlighting our ICC soccer programs. 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the second, and there's strike 3 call to Langford, and that is the second strikeout of the inning for Hackney, brought to you by Pit Stop Barbecue in Fulton. 3 up and 3 down in the second. We go to the third. ICC leads EMCC 1-0.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Davis Ford in Fulton. Need a new car, van, or SUV? Give Davis Ford a call at 862-3711. By Coca-Cola, Coke, and ICC. Now that's a winning combination.
And by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop in downtown Fulton. Sweet Cheeks is open daily for breakfast and lunch and is the only place in Fulton where you can get hot, freshly made donuts.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First National Bank in Pontotoc, with locations on South Main Street in Pontotoc and on Highway 15 in North Pontotoc. First National Bank, you're important to us, and we prove it.
And by JUCO Weekly. Log on to JUCOweekly.org to view scores, stats, news, photos, and videos from around the MACJC. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at www.JUCOweekly.org.
Back here in Fulton as we head to the top of the third. ICC leads game one, 7-2. Leads game two, 1-0. In the top of the third, it'll be Hackney, Mitchell, and Dawkins, the number 9, 1 and 2 hitters for EMCC. ICC, that win in game one, now 12 wins in a row. Talk about peaking at the right time. Hawkins has a changeup for her first pitch, a little high, 1-0 the count. ICC will be at Hines on Saturday, at Jackson State up in Tennessee on Tuesday, and then a week from tomorrow we'll host the best of three opening round series. Andy Kirk said earlier today, game one will be late in the afternoon, and then game two will be Saturday. Game three, if necessary, will be after that on Saturday.
So can we go 2-1 instead of 1-2?
That's what I was telling Andy. There's a fly ball deep to left, but way out of play. A long foul ball, and it's now 2-1 the count to Hackney. I was talking to Andy. I said, boy, it'd be great if we could get two in on Friday, and we'll have both those games on the radio. We'll have the game one a week from tomorrow here on FM 95 Sports, also on FM95Radio.com, as well as LetsGoICC.com. There's a foul ball out of play. And then on Saturday, Adam, you'll have game two on LetsGoICC.com, and if game three is necessary, that'll also be on our award-winning athletic website.
It won't be necessary. We're going to take care of business in two.
I like that. And then I'll be going to Senatobia. I'll be flying solo over to Senatobia, hanging out. Well, I won't even be able to hang out with Maloney because he'll be with softball at home. This one's fouled out of play down the third base line. But we'll have ICC baseball at Northwest, regular season finale.
Yeah, so Maloney may be there, because he does PA for baseball. So you may have to deal with him. He just texted me a little while ago, bragging they won. I said, well, we won too. He's like, good. That means y'all helped us secure the number 2 spot.
That's exactly right. Count is even at 2-2 to Hackney. It's 1-0, top of the third. Lady Indians lead it. This one's a smash down the first baseline foul. And we'll do it again. Hackney getting quite a few pitches this at-bat.
I'll tell you another thing we need to start worrying about, Will. It's starting to cloud up a little bit. You feel a little breeze, sort of a cool breeze blow through now. So hopefully we can get this thing taken care of, and Mother Nature just decides not to go crazy on us.
No, you can feel a little more moisture in the air. It's getting a little more muggier. And there's a fly ball to left field. Shankle goes back a few steps and takes care of Hackney for the first out here in the third. And we'll go to the top of the order with one out in the third, and it's Kristen Mitchell, the shortstop. Mitchell in game one went 0 for 2 officially. She was hit by a pitch twice and scored a run. With Dawkins on deck, Lady Indians lead it 1-0 here in the third.
Well, they've got a big-time shift on right now for Mitchell. As you see, Dillard is just about on the other side of the banner out there in center field.
Yeah, they really are. They haven't heard a pull, and this is a pop-up. Foul territory, third base side, and a nice running catch by Corey Watterson. Had a nice jump on that one, and that was one of the keys in her getting that one in foul territory.
Absolutely, and Corey, I tell you, you look back, actually, Will, we've had some really good third basemen. Of course, Coach Roberts, who's helping out the team this year, she played third and short for us the last 2 years. Before that, we had Lara Andrews, who is now a professional softball player in Philadelphia. She played third base for us for a year. So we've been blessed to have some talented players there on that hot corner.
There's a smash off the web of Henry at first. That's going to be an error on Henry, and that extends the inning. The first error in Game 2 for ICC, as the Lady Indians did have 2 errors in Game 1. They had 7-10-2 the line score, and East Mississippi just 2-1-2 in that Game 1 win by the Lady Indians. So here's Casey Stanfield, who is extremely dangerous. We kept her in check in Game 1, 0 for 4. Then she grounded back to Hawkins to end the first. They'll throw over to first.
Pitch was outside. I think it was a pitch out the whole way because they were going to see if they were going to try to run on that play. And almost that snap throw over to first almost got her.
1-0 the count to the right-handed hitting third baseman. There's a fly ball to left field, and it's deep. Schenkel has room, though, and makes the catch in the corner, and that takes care of Stanfield. And East Mississippi in the third. No runs, no hits. There was an error, and 1 was left. We've played 2.5. Throw another donut on the scoreboard for East Mississippi. Brought to you by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop. We go to the bottom of the third. Lady Indians lead it 1-0.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The BSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
ICC Athletics on FM 95 Sports is brought to you in part by the National Guard. Always ready, always there, the National Guard. And by Pisons. Give Stan the Pizza Man a call at 862-4000.
Will Kohlmeyer, Adam Gore back here in Fulton as we head to the bottom of the third. ICC leads at 1-0. How about a game analysis, Adam, brought to you by Weatherall Printing?
Well, right now we've had 2 outstanding defensive plays. I know that ball was getting close. May have been a foul ball. You never know on that last one. But good job by Lakin Schenkel. Really got on her horse and ran out there in a hurry and got that fly ball that could have dropped for a run, if not more. And then before that, you got a great play in center field by Heather Dillard. And that's what we talked about. We needed good defensive plays, sort of take any type of wind out of the sails they're able to build, and we've been able to do that so far. Now we just got to need the bats to step up for us here.
Here's Lakin Schenkel coming to the plate. She just made that nice play out in left field to end that last inning for East Mississippi. Dillard on deck and Moore in the hole. So the 8, 9, and 1 hitters facing Hackney here in the third. Lady Indians lead Game 2 1-0. Fastball high and inside. A little chin music to the left-handed hitting Lakin Schenkel.
You notice she didn't fall out of it. She just ducked down that time. That's a little bit of Calhoun County coming out of her right there.
Yesterday, the ICC Lady Indians wrapped up their 3rd straight North Division championship. There's a strike call. ICC secured their 7th straight trip to the postseason. That's the longest current streak among the 15 community colleges in Mississippi, and will host the number 4 seed out of the South Division in a best-of-3 series. That'll be next Friday and Saturday, April 25th and 26th. And with a pair of wins, there's a soft liner to left, a base hit by Schenkel to lead off the third inning. Just the second hit of the game for ICC, and that'll bring Heather Dillard to the plate. And with a pair of wins next week, if we can win that best-of-3, Adam, we'll host the MAC-JC State Tournament on May 2nd and 3rd.
Absolutely, and right now it's Pearl River in that number 4 spot. And I tell you, Pearl River has had our numbers over the year.
My goodness, I was afraid you were going to say that.
Because it was Gulf Coast was in 4th. And all of a sudden, you know, overnight, there's a sacrifice bunt laid down nicely that time by Dillard. But overnight, Gulf Coast jumped from 4th to 2nd. Colin shifted to 3rd. And Pearl River fell all the way from 2nd to 4th.
We have had some very good teams and have been upended in that state tournament by Pearl River. And that sacrifice by Dillard, as you mentioned, Adam, a beauty by Heather, brought to you by the Baptist Student Union. Chris Burrow's in charge, along with all the BSU students. Would like to remind all of us of the ultimate sacrifice made on our behalf, especially with tomorrow being Good Friday, Easter on Sunday. And Dillard's sacrifice put Schenkel at second, and the pitch low to Moore, as Haley had a terrific game one, 3 for 3 with 2 runs scored and a stolen base. Had a pop-up to the pitcher, Hackney, in the first here in game 2.
Yeah, she was jammed on a 3-2 pitch, trying to foul it off to stay alive, and just a little routine pop-out.
Here's the 1-0. That's low again. 2-0 the count. Special thanks to Jim Ingram, the director of our foundation, joining us for the first inning and a half on this broadcast. Always nice to do these ICC athletic broadcasts on FM 95 Sports with Jim. Helped us out a lot in football and men's and women's basketball this year. That pitch is high. Outside, 3-0 the count to Moore with Carver on deck.
Well, if we have a couple of more scoreless innings, we may call him and get him back up here because we scored a run when he was up here. So
that's right.
Jim, don't get too far.
Yeah, Jim. Yeah, Jim's on his way to Tupelo right now. He's like, wait a second here. The 3-0 to Moore with first base open, and Carver on the deck here in the bottom of the third, taking all the way, and a strike called just under the letters. 3-1 the count.
Well, Cody Bonds is here today. Of course, he was the 6th man during the basketball season. And every time he chants ball 4, something bad happens. So I'm going to go down there and tell him to be quiet.
Yeah, let's see. You can hear Cody. There's the pitch high, and stealing third is Schenkel.
Maybe I just need to leave Cody alone.
I tried to thank the folks, if you were listening on FM 95 Sports or also watching our video streaming of this broadcast, Let's Go ICC, you could have heard Cody.
That was Cody. It wasn't a stray cow making its way through the area.
No, though we've had the Chick-fil-A cow, the mascot, at a couple of our games this year, thanks to the Chick-fil-A at the Thompson Square location in Tupelo. Now here's Cat Carver with runners at the corners. That Chick-fil-A does sound good.
But I will call in Pisons when I get out of here because they deliver.
The only place that does deliver. There's the stolen base attempt down to second, and sliding in safely is Moore. That got a little close for me.
Yeah, and really surprised. I thought ICC might have been trying to double steal that time, but opted out to see if they were going to throw short. So now we got runners in scoring position in second and third with Cat Carver, and Cat, a base hit could come up big here because we got a lot of speed on the bases.
Yeah, that stolen base for Moore, her 26th of the year in 27 attempts. That pitch just inside, almost hit Carver with a changeup. And it's now 1-1 the count with one out here in the bottom of the third. It's 1-0 ICC, but we've got 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 out. Schenkel is at third. Moore is at second. Carver at the plate. She had a double her first time up and came in to score on a wild pitch. That's the only run of the game. Fastball is high and inside. 2-1 the count to Cat Carver, who went 1 for 1 officially in game 1. Had a sacrifice in the first, a sac fly in the third, and then had a base hit and scored in the 5th.
She had that big grand slam to give us the 8-4 win over Gadsden in the top of the 7th of game 2 last week.
I remember you and I were doing the baseball broadcast of ICC baseball against Holmes, and Cat Carver hit that grand slam in softball there in Gadsden, Alabama. There's a called strike. 2-2 the count with 1 out. Watterson is on deck. Henderson in the hole. ICC trying to stretch out this 1-0 lead. In front of a very good crowd here on a Maundy Thursday, part of the Easter holiday weekend. And now asking for time and receiving it is Cat Carver with Watterson on deck. Carver now 36 out of 117 at the plate. That double in the first was her 13th two-bagger of the year. Pitch is low and outside, and the count is now full at 3-2. Carver with 3 home runs, now 30 runs batted in. Her batting average over 300 now on the year. Her on-base percentage is approaching 390. And that slugging percentage over 500. Not bad for your number 2 player in that hitter in that lineup. And there's ball 4 outside, and Carver very patient at bat, and we got the bases juiced. They're full of Indians, and there's only 1 out, and here's Corey Watterson.
Yeah, this is the part of the lineup that we want to have bases loaded with one out in right now. So Corey can come up really big. And don't need a long ball in this situation. Don't think home run. Just think solid hit. Keep this, as you like to say, merry-go-round going here, because we got a couple of power hitters coming up, and I'll take a home run, but I'll take a base hit, anything to score 2 runs.
No doubt about that. We're not too choosy here. We'll take any kind of runs, and that pitch is a strike call. 0-1 the count. Caught.
Not playing kickball.
Part of the corner, evidently, and they must have been close to the knees. Larry Boggs talked about our freshman orientation coming up this summer. We had approximately 1,600 entering freshmen that attended on-campus orientation at either our Fulton and Tupelo campus last summer. 1-1 the count to Watterson.
Well, with the change-up that came up just a little short, and I tell you, you don't want to miss or hang up a change-up to either one of these next 2 batters.
The wind just slight breeze blowing out to right. And that slapped down the right field line, just foul. That would have scored 2. And now Watterson has to guard the dish at 1-2. With 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd, Lady Indians lead it 1-0. An ICC spotlight, I know on the news tonight at 6 and 10 on WTVA and WCBI, we'll have Alex Anderson, our All-American point guard from our state champion ICC men's basketball team, signing with UT Martin.
Absolutely. Had a chance to talk to Alex today, and you can see that interview with Alex on WTVA, WCBI tonight, and try to have that online soon at LetsGoICC.
Man, I'm sure the Daily Journal will have something as well tomorrow morning as well on Alex Anderson signing a D1 National Letter of Intent to the University of Tennessee at Martin. There's a foul ball down the 3rd baseline, this time by Watterson, and we'll do it again at 1-2. And Alex Anderson signing a D1 scholarship as an ICC spotlight, brought to you by First National Bank in Pontotoc. We're in the 3rd, bottom of the 3rd, and the bases are full of Lady Indians. Schenkel at 3rd, Moore at 2nd, Carver at 1st. 1 out, bottom of the 3rd. Fastball high, 2-2 the count.
Ooh, that's a tough pitch to hold off of right there, Will. It's good fastball high and just outside, as in game 1. That probably would have been strike 3.
Watterson did drive in a run with a sacrifice fly in game 1. She was 0 for 2 officially with that sac fly. Bases loaded, 1 out, bottom of the 3rd. Lady Indians lead it 1-0. Fastball high again. The count is now full at 3-2.
Looks like East Mississippi has somebody getting loose on the side.
Northwest knocked off Northeast earlier today, and that wraps up the number 2 spot in the North. East Mississippi had hopes of coming in here and sweeping and trying to get that number 2 seed. Here's the 3-2 to Watterson, lined into right field, a base hit. 1 run will score. Here comes the 2nd run, and a 2-run single by Corey Watterson makes it 3-0 ICC. The throw down to 2nd is high, and that's going to score another run, and it's now 4-0 Itawamba.
That'll work. Nice at bat that time by Corey. Did a good job of battling, finding the pitch that she wanted. As we said, didn't try to kill the ball. Put it out there where they ain't. Drove in 2 runs. Then did a really good job of getting about halfway down, forcing a throw to 2nd when as soon as the throw was gone, Cap came home to score. Error allowed her to reach 2nd.
That error on the catcher Roberts. So we get 3 runs scoring on the play. Give Watterson 2 more runs batted in. She had 1 in game 1, so now she has a team best 41 runs batted in. And here's Emily Henderson. Pitches a strike call. ICC now leading 4-0. And Watterson, as you mentioned, Adam, took 2nd on that throw into center field by Roberts, the catcher.
Starting to get a little bit of sun to sneak through now.
Mother Nature can't make up her mind. Supposed to be some rain coming in. There's a changeup, and that hits Henderson in the head.
And she's hard-headed. She's good.
Henderson will trot down to 1st.
Let's hope that Emily don't go back and watch this.
Yeah, you would be in big trouble.
Yep.
And I would not want to be Adam Gore on that one. That's a mismatch, partner. Here comes East Mississippi. They're going to talk it over. We're in the bottom of the third. Let's take a 30-second timeout. Lady Indians lead 4-0.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First American National Bank in Fulton, doing business the old-fashioned way. First American National Bank, with convenient locations all over Northeast Mississippi. By the Subways in Fulton, Tupelo, Saltillo, and Nettleton. Subway, eat fresh.
Back here in Fulton, alongside Adam Gore, I'm Will Kohlmeyer. Chelsea Harlow, our studio engineer, down at FM 95 Studios. She's getting ready to help out tonight with the Amory-Pontotoc High School baseball battle at 7 o'clock here on FM 95 Sports. We've got Ole Miss and LSU on our AMs, 1240 and 1580 at 6 o'clock. And here's Hopper, Kara Hopper. It's 4-0 ICC here in the bottom of the third. And Hopper going to pick up her 4th save of the year. Was outstanding pitching-wise in game 1. Both Hopper and Johnson combined on a 1-hitter. Will get the win today.
Letting it close the regular season with the most wins for a program at 35.
So there's some more records that can be broken this year. And there's a slow roller back to Hackney. Fires over to the pitcher, and that takes care of Hopper. But on the play, Watterson goes to third, Henderson to second. And so with runners at second and third with 2 outs, here's Henry.
Yeah, just as good as a sacrifice bunt right there. Just a little dribbler back to the pitcher. Had a little trouble with it there for a second. Thought we might have got a break, but instead now Arian Henry step in.
Round out victim her first time up. But this big kid here really stretched this thing out nicely.
Have a substitution coming in, probably just another runner in. We'll have the starting pitcher. For Emily Henderson here in the bottom of the third. She's got pretty good speed. Sophomore out of Sullivan, Alabama. Here's Henry, the 8th batter to face Hackney here in the third. There's a strike call. 1-1 the count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. We've got 2 runners in scoring position. Watterson at third, the pinch runner Hawkins at second. Henry at the plate, Langford on deck. Change up by Hackney. Strike called, 1-2 the count. See, that's a very, very tough pitcher to hit the softball. When you're on top of your change up, it makes it a very difficult pitcher, but it's also very dangerous for the throw. If somebody's sitting there looking for a change-up, then you're throwing BP to them.
That's exactly right. Henry has 4 home runs on the year, hitting at .345 starting the day. Check swing. Did she commit? Yes, she did. And that's strike 3. Another strikeout brought to you by the Pit Stop Barbecue in Fulton. That's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Hackney. But the Lady Indians score 3 runs in the inning on 2 hits. Took advantage of an error, and we left 2. We go to the 4th inning, and ICC leads game 2 4-0.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First National Bank in Pontotoc, with locations on South Main Street in Pontotoc and on Highway 15 in North Pontotoc. First National Bank, you're important to us, and we prove it.
And by JUCO Weekly. Log on to JUCOweekly.org to view scores, stats, news, photos, and videos from around the MACJC. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. That's www.JUCOweekly.org.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The BSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
ABC News Now, I'm Dave Packer. 1 week ago today, 10 people were killed in a fiery crash between a tractor-trailer and a charter bus in Northern California. And
Will Kohlmeyer, Adam Gore back here in Fulton.
That ABC News update brought to you in part by Trustmark Bank.
There's the first pitch swinging, a roller to the right side. Carver takes care of the first Lady Lion. That's Albritton, Jade Albritton, for the first out here in the top of the fourth, with ICC leading 4-0.
Good job by Chelsea. She's on her toes to get that to stop, because that's just a regular time.
Oh, I know. It's just, that's Chelsea Harlow. She's an honor student. She's showing off that IQ. That pitch is low and outside. 1-0 the count to Abby Roberts.
Well, you being a northerner, you call it IQ. Us in the South call it smarts.
Okay, gotcha. There you go. Either way, she's a lot smarter than both of us combined.
Twice.
Inside, a strike call. The 1-1 the count with 1 out, with Pepper Baker on deck. 4-0. ICC. After winning game 1, 7-2, there's a liner to left, a base hit. That is just the second hit of the game for East Mississippi. Albritton had a base hit to start the second.
And once again, we're going to have number 3 come in as a courtesy runner.
That is Beth Hull. She pinch ran for Abby Roberts, made it all the way to third her last time up. They had runners at second and third with 2 outs, and then Mary Morgan Fortune was robbed of extra bases as Dillard had the defensive play of the game, brought to you by the National Guard. Heather, tremendous diving catch. I mean, she stretched it out to rob Fortune of extra bases, and that would have given East Mississippi at that time a 2-1 lead. Changeup laced into left center field, and that's going to fall for a base hit. And the throw in, and cut off, dropped a bit, and a double for Baker to left center, and that allows Hull to go from first to third, and that's the first extra base hit of the afternoon for East Mississippi, and it took them into game 2 in the 4th inning.
Yeah, that time Mo threw, I guess, a changeup, sort of hung up on her that time, and they were waiting on it, and they was able to get it out there in the gap, and now got something brewing here.
Here's a base hit up the middle, and that's going to score at least 1, and they're going to hold the runner at third, down 4-1, and a base hit by McCrary scores the pinch runner Hull. Baker goes to third, and they've got runners at the corners with only 1 out here in the top of the 4th. And how important was that 3-run inning?
Really big right now. As you said, that 3-run inning, we're going to have another runner come in this situation. This appears to be number 13.
That is Elizabeth Barnacastle.
Number 13, Elizabeth Barnacastle.
Barnacastle. That's 11 letters in the last name, Elizabeth in the first name.
Well, don't you know you would have hated been her growing up?
20 letters in her name.
Just imagine her being in like kindergarten, first grade.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm just Liz B.
Yeah, trying to spell. Talking about spelling?
Yeah.
Trying to spell her name? Yeah, absolutely. 4-1. ICC leads it here in the top of the 4th. Here's Mary Morgan Fortune, and she hits one to deep left field, back toward the wall, and making the catch is Schenkel. But it's going to be deep enough for a sacrifice fly. Now they got the runner caught in between first and second, and the throw down is out. So a sacrifice fly to left, brought to you by the Baptist Student Union, scores Baker. And then Schenkel's throw in to it was 7 to the shortstop. Did she shortstop?
7-4-3 on the putout.
And that gets McCrary at first, and that takes care of East Mississippi, and that's a double play brought to you by Pisons. Give Stan the Pizza Man a call tonight for supper. That's what Adam will do. 862-4000. In the inning, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and no one was left. We go to the bottom of the 4th, and ICC leads EMCC 4-2.
ICC Athletics on FM 95 Sports is brought to you in part by the National Guard. Always ready, always there, the National Guard. And by Pisons. Give Stan the Pizza Man a call at 862-4000.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First American National Bank in Fulton, doing business the old-fashioned way. First American National Bank, with convenient locations all over Northeast Mississippi. By the Subways in Fulton, Tupelo, Saltillo, and Nettleton. Subway, eat fresh.
We head to the bottom of the fourth here in Fulton. ICC leads EMCC in game 2 4-2 after winning game 1 7-2. It'll be the number 7, 8, and 9 hitters for ICC. That'll be Langford, Schenkel, and Dillard. Boy, some ICC defense has stepped up and made some big plays to keep this a 4-2 game.
Absolutely, and you look at Schenkel. She's had 2 big running catches. That one up against the fence. So, as you said, defense getting it done, and that's what we talked about. Get some good defensive plays today and give our pitchers some confidence to throw the ball. That's what you talked about on what's on your menu. In fact, in both games, brought to you by our friends at Sodexo. That's ICC Dining Services. Langford. First pitch is a ball low and outside, 1-0 the count. Langford was the only Lady Indian that did not hit in the third. We sent 8 to the plate. We scored 3 runs on 2 hits. There's a grounder to third. Nice play, gobbled up by Stanfield. Throws over to first in time, and Langford is now 0 for 2 in this game after going 1 for 3 with an RBI in game 1. Yeah, she hit that one hard enough that it stuck in her glove. She just good job by that third baseman that time, just reaction-wise to get the glove out there, get in front of it, and it hit it hard enough to stick in there and get the throw across the way. And here is Lakin Schenkel, who has played some terrific defense in left field. Also got a base hit to lead off that third. Stole a base and came in to score. This one's fouled out of play. 0-1 the count. Yeah, she'll be one of these many freshmen that we got coming back next year that we can really build on this season and hope to keep good things rolling next season. ICC trying to go 21-3 in North Division play, 31-10 on the year if they can hang on. But we're just in the bottom of the fourth. ICC up 4-2. There's a soft liner in the left field, and it's just foul. Diving attempt by the left fielder Dawkins. Couldn't quite come up with it, so a foul ball. Schenkel has been at first. She thought it was fair, and now they told her you got to come back. Try to sell it. You never know. That's what you got to do. It's like taking a charge. Get on your heels and flop and fall and cry and yell, and you never know. We've got some terrific career and technical programs under the leadership of Tony Tice here at ICC. We'll talk about one in general. This is one specifically. That pitch is low, 1-2 the count. ICC is partnering with Snap-on Tools as a digital volt ohm meter, that's DVOM, certification trainer for its automotive technology program. Other programs utilizing the new equipment are the diesel and collision repair programs. That's all part of our transportation programs inside our career and tech. There's a pop-up down the left field line, and Stanfield makes a... Nope. Did not make the catch. Had it in the webbing and then dropped it. It was foul. Like a couple of players may have actually ran into each other as the umpires call time, and Coach Kirk is heading over to check on the third baseman, and she comes in and she's laughing, so apparently she's okay. So that's good news for Stanfield. Dickie Miller, the home plate ump, went out there to check on them as well. We talk about our career and technical programs. Boy, there are some terrific 1- and 2-year programs that are in demand now. So you can call our ICC career and tech folks, or call Tony Tice, who's our Dean of Career and Tech over on our Tupelo campus, and that's an ICC Spotlight brought to you by First National Bank in Pontotoc. There's a slow roller to right off the heel of the first baseman, and safe at first as Schenkel beats it out. Slow roller just caught the heel of the mitt, and Adam Gore says base hit. Schenkel will agree. Yeah, it's a base hit. At East Mississippi, it's probably going to be an error because it's at East Mississippi, but at home, that's a base hit. So Schenkel now 2 for 2. Plus she's from... Has nothing to do with that, does it? No. 298 starting the day, so Schenkel's batting average over 300 now. And here's Dillard, who had a sacrifice bunter first time up. First pitch is a ball, 1-0 the count. Dillard
scored 2 runs in game 1. She was 1 for 2 officially. Walked and scored, stole a base in the 3rd, and then got a base hit to start that 4-run 5th inning and came around to score as well. There's a hit and run. This one's fouled straight back over our heads in the ICC Alumni Association broadcast booth.
I tell you, if she could have got full contact on that, that was heading towards right, and that's really where she needs to put it, is out there in right center. If she can get one out there, and that'll probably score Lakin from first, and may end up being a triple for the speedy Dillard.
Yeah, she has got some wheels, no doubt, Heather Dillard. That pitch is low and outside. 2-1 the count to Dillard. The runner at first is Schenkel with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. ICC leads game 2 4-2 after winning game 1 7-2. Yesterday, that doubleheader sweep over Coahoma secured the 7th straight trip to the postseason for ICC. And we'll host the number 4 seed out of the South in a best-of-3 series starting next Friday. There's a slap down the left field line, foul. And the count is now 2-2 the count. In fact, that'll be our next broadcast for Lady Indian softball. Adam and I will join you a week from Friday. Of course, you can keep up to date, whether you pick out your favorite media here locally, or you can follow us on Twitter or our athletic website. We'll have all different ways of telling you when we'll be playing, what time, and who we'll face in that best-of-3 opening round series. Then Adam will have game 2 and game 3, if necessary, on Saturday at LetsGoICC.com. And there's strike 3 called on Dillard. And another strikeout for Hackney. The 4th of the game, brought to you by Pit Stop Barbecue in Fulton.
Yeah, tough strikeout to swallow that time, as the catcher had to lean to her left to catch the ball. So tough go, but hey, 2 outs. We can get a 2-out rally here and push some runs across.
So we'll go to the top of the order, and Haley Moore. Haley has scored 3 runs on the afternoon. Went 3 for 3 in game 1. There's a soft liner down the right field line. It's going to fall for a base hit. Schenkel will go easily to 3rd, and we've got runners at the corners with 2 outs.
That's what I said. Let's get us a little 2-out rally going here, and pushes another run across.
That's the 4th hit of the afternoon for Moore. She is now 4 for 5 with 3 runs scored, a couple stolen bases. And here's Kat Carver.
You might see them try to get a little double steal action going here.
Kat Carver had a double and scored in the 1st on a wild pitch. She walked and came in to score in the 3rd inning, so she has scored 2 of our runs. It's 4-2. Pitches a strike call to Carver on the inside corner. 0-1 the count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. The 17th ranked Lady Indians lead it 4-2. We talked about the Pit Stop Barbecue in Fulton, the business hours Monday through Friday, 5:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pitch is low. Snap throw down to 1st, and now they're going to try to score the runner from 3rd. And it looked like she was safe, and Dickie Miller called her out, and Andy Kerr can't believe it. Oh, my goodness. And the crowd can't believe it either.
And I've got it on tape, too.
Oh, my goodness. A delayed steal. Moore try to get down to 2nd. They cut it off and they threw to home, and Schenkel is out at the plate, and that takes care of ICC in the 4th. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 was left. We go to the 5th. ICC leads 4-2.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Davis Ford in Fulton. Need a new car, van, or SUV? Give Davis Ford a call at 862-3711. By Coca-Cola, Coke, and ICC. Now that's the winning combination.
And by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop in downtown Fulton. Sweet Cheeks is open daily for breakfast and lunch and is the only place in Fulton where you can get hot, freshly made donuts.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First National Bank in Pontotoc, with locations on South Main Street in Pontotoc and on Highway 15 in North Pontotoc. First National Bank, you're important to us, and we prove it.
And by JUCO Weekly. Log on to JUCOweekly.org to view scores, stats, news, photos, and videos from around the MACJC. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at www.JUCOweekly.org.
FM 95 sports coverage of ICC is sponsored by the McDonald's of Monroe, Itawamba, Chickasaw, Lee, and Pontotoc counties, Davis Ford, Coke, First American National Bank, Itawamba Community College, and Auto, Air, and Electric.
Taylor Hackney fouls the first pitch out of play here in the 5th inning, with ICC leading East Mississippi 4-2. This pitch is high, 1-1 the count to Hackney. Lady Indians won game 1, 7-2. Montana Hawkins will face the number 9, 1 and 2 hitters, Hackney, Mitchell, and Dawkins. This is a fly ball to left center field. Calling for it is the center fielder Dillard for the first out. So with 1 out here in the 5th, here's Kristen Mitchell, the shortstop. She's 0 for 2 in this game, after going 0 for 2 with a run scored officially in game 1.
Number 15, Kristen Mitchell.
You know, we've got a lot of folks listening this afternoon on FM 95 Sports, including our ICC campus police. They listening as they make the rounds here today.
Actually, looks like Jimmy's up there parked, and he's illegally parked as his wheels are on the grass. So I'll be going out there in between innings to
write him up.
A citizen's citation.
Oh, boy, nothing like putting yourself on the radar.
That's what I was just thinking. I was thinking, do I have a sticker?
0-1 the count. That pitch is high. 1-1 the count to Kristen Mitchell.
Never mind, I'm not going to do that.
I think that's a good idea. Hawkins dealing. Pop up, short left field. Moore going out. Boy, she's got some great range. She makes the catch about 15 feet out in left field for the second out, as Moore, the ICC catcher, takes care of the East Mississippi catcher, Kristen Mitchell, for the second out. And with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th, it'll be Corey Dawkins, the left fielder.
Number 1, Corey Dawkins.
Lady Indians really need to get a quick 3-up, 3-down inning here. Try to just move this thing along. Kind of got the nuts and bolts put to us on that last play at home, but if we get a 3-up, 3-down inning, it don't really matter.
And that's what Montana Hawkins just did there. Nice stretch there by Henry at first, and that takes care of Dawkins. 3 up and 3 down in the top of the 5th for East Mississippi, and put a donut on that scoreboard for East Mississippi, brought to you by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop. That's Alex Williamson and company here in Fulton. We go to the bottom of the 5th. ICC leads game 2, 4-2.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The VSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
ICC Athletics on FM 95 Sports is brought to you in part by the National Guard. Always ready, always there, the National Guard. And by Pisons. Give Stan the Pizza Man a call at 862-4000.
Back here in Fulton, we head to the bottom of the 5th. ICC leads game 2, 4-2 after winning game 1, 7-2. Hackney back in the circle for the Lady Lions, and she'll face the number 2, 3, and 4 hitters. That's Carver, Watterson, and Henderson. And if any of those Lady Indians reach, we'll see Kara Hopper here at the plate in the 5th.
Real quick shout out to my buddy Joel Bowles, watching his niece, Mary Morgan Fortune, playing here for East Mississippi, and Joel works at Northwest.
How about that?
So a little bit of everybody.
Appreciate him watching at LetsGoICC.com. There's a strike call.
I want to say congratulations to him. Newborn.
Oh, how about that?
Yes.
Congratulations. Is that his first?
I believe so.
Well, that life is turned upside down. It'll never be the same, will it?
I tried to get him to name his little girl after me, but he wouldn't do it. But he did give her the AC initials.
How about that?
So,
boy, he's all about Gore.
Yes.
This one's fouled straight back. 0-2 the count to Carver. Carver is 1 for 1 officially in this game. She got a double and scored in the first, got a walk and scored in the third. That third inning was big. 3 runs we scored in that inning to make it to nothing, and then they scored 2 in the top of the fourth. That just misses. 1-2 the count to Carver. Cat in game 1 was 1 for 1 officially. She had a sacrifice bunt, a sac fly, and then got a base hit and scored in the 4-run fifth. That was the big inning in game 1 in that 7-2 win by Itawamba. There's the 1-2 down low in the dirt, and we're even at 2-2.
Yeah, that time that pitcher slipped out of her hand a little too soon. It hopped across the way, as you said, making the count go 2-1.
ICC trying to win it for Montana Hawkins. Montana trying to get her 10th win of the year. The sophomore from Sulligent. There's a smash down the third base line, fair ball. Carver takes the big swing, big turnaround first, and it's a base hit. Nice job by the left fielder Dawkins to keep Carver at first, and a leadoff hit by Carver.
Yeah, very impressive play out there by the left fielder. I thought that was double the whole way, but a good job of hustling, getting that, and quickly getting it back in.
Yeah, that was a laser to left by Carver, and here's Watterson. She came through with a big 2-run single her last time up. That was one of the key hits in that 3-run third. Showing bunt is Corey, pulling the trigger back, and the first pitch is a strike called, 0-1. Watterson went 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly in game 1. 1 for 2 in this game as she grounded out to the shortstop Mitchell in the first. Watterson hits from the right side. There's a slow roller. Gets past the pitcher. It's going to be a tough play. The throw is not in time. And an infield hit by Corey Watterson.
That's how you got to do it. Just string them together one at a time and get a little rally going here.
Number 22, Emily Henderson.
So here's Henderson, the sophomore cleanup hitter. 1 for 2 in this game. Emily in game 1 went 2 for 3 with a run scored and 2 runs batted in. Change up, popped up. First base side in foul territory, and that's Fortune making the catch. And the runners were off with the pitch, and they had to hustle back. And so now there's 1 out.
They had the hit and run on that time, and a good call at the time on throwing the changeup. Because Emily tried to come out and make contact and make something happen on the hit and run, but a good pitch call at the right time.
So with 1 out, here's Kara Hopper, who is 0 for 2 in this game. She went 2 for 3 in game 1 with a run scored and a run batted in. There's a fly ball, way foul, out of play down the left field line, just a little ahead of that offering. Kara also picked up her 4th save in that game. She was our co-Sonic Star of the game, or Sonic Stars of the game, along with Hannah Johnson, brought to you by the Sonic Drive-In in Fulton.
Speaking of Hannah, her dad texted me and said he's enjoying watching the broadcast today.
All right, up there in Branson, Missouri. There's a foul ball. 0-2 the count. Dad, you can listen and watch a week from tomorrow, as we'll have our next broadcast will be game 1 of that best of 3 in case he can't make it down here from Missouri. We'll have it for you, not only on the radio, but also on LetsGoICC.com. And then we'll, of course, have Game 2 and Game 3 on Saturday on LetsGoICC.com. And I'll have ICC Baseball at Northwest on FM 95 Sports, along with FM95Radio.com. Pitch is high.
I know I've seen him at least 6 games this year.
Okay.
So that's making a long trek a good bit of times to come down and support his daughter and the rest of the girls.
Well, I know he's got to be thrilled, along with Hannah and all of her family, with this week, Hannah being the pitcher of the week statewide among the 15 community colleges in the MACJC. Pitches high to Hopper, and the count is now even at 2-2 with one out here in the bottom of the fifth. ICC leads 4-2 after winning game 1 7-2. And if ICC can win the best of 3 next week at home, we'll host the 4-team state tournament the following weekend. There's a fly ball into center field. Drifting to her right a few steps and making the catch is the center fielder Baker for the second out, as Hopper is retired, and she's now 0 for 3 in this game. And here's Arian Henry.
Number 7, Arian Henry.
Henry 0 for 2 in this one. Had a pinch hitting performance in game 1, struck out. So 0 for 3. That hurts her .345 batting average starting the day.
She's going to step up big here for us.
Fastball, strike called. Hackney had a little extra giddy up on that one. 0-1 the count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, that one had some snap on it.
We've got the Aiken Veterinary Services postgame report coming up right after this one is over. Fastball just outside, evidently. Pretty good pitch there. 1-1 the count with 2 outs here in the fifth. Of course, Aiken Veterinary Services, located on Country Club Road in Tupelo. Dr. Mark Aiken, committed to providing personal attention to the unique concerns of each individual horse owner. There's a changeup and a strike called. 1-2.
Yeah, I'll tell you, when you get that pitch going, especially after you see 2 fastballs the way she did on a laser, you're sitting on it again saying, okay, that's what she's going to throw me. And then all of a sudden you just get this thing floating up there, and your brain just can't compute it quick enough.
Oh, you're frozen. Just freezes you. See what Hackney will do here on 1-2. There's a slow roller to third, the throw to first in time to get Henry and ICC here in the fifth. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and we left 2 on base. We go to the 6th inning, and ICC leads it 4-2.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First American National Bank in Fulton, doing business the old-fashioned way. First American National Bank, with convenient locations all over Northeast Mississippi. By the Subways in Fulton, Tupelo, Saltillo, and Nettleton. Subway, eat fresh.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Davis Ford in Fulton. Need a new car, van, or SUV? Give Davis Ford a call at 862-3711. By Coca-Cola, Coke, and ICC. Now that's the winning combination.
And by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop in downtown Fulton. Sweet Cheeks is open daily for breakfast and lunch and is the only place in Fulton where you can get hot, freshly made donuts.
FM 95 sports coverage of ICC is sponsored by the McDonald's of Monroe, Itawamba, Chickasaw, Lee, and Pontotoc counties. Trustmark Bank, Larry Clark Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac, Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop, the National Guard, the Daily Journal, and Pison's Pizza.
The first pitch here in the top of the 6th is a ball outside, 1-0 the count to Casey Stanfield. It'll be the number 3, 4, and 5 hitters facing Montana Hawkins here in the 6th. That's Stanfield, Albritton, and Roberts. There's a strike called, 1-1 the count.
Will, the Trustmark Bank scoreboard update for all of our East Mississippi fans listening. Northwest leads 4-0 in Game 2 in the 2nd inning against Northeast.
That's another Trustmark Bank scoreboard update. This one's fouled out of play. 1-2 the count. Here it's 4-2 ICC after winning Game 1 7-2.
Make it 6-0 Northwest after a 2-run home run, no outs in the 3rd.
All righty, so Northwest well on their way. There's a liner to left, a base hit, and a leadoff single by Stanfield to left here in the top of the 6th. And Casey's first hit of Game 2. She's now 1 for 3 after going 0 for 4 in Game 1.
Number 9, Jade Albritton.
This really is impressive how the ICC pitchers have been as successful as they have been today against this fine hitting East Mississippi squad.
It really has. And once again, Will, we go back talking about it being the defense that's played well behind them. You know, when you got defense making the plays that we've seen, 2 out of Shankle, 1 amazing play out of Heather Dillard.
There's a fly ball to deep center field, and it's going to be out of here. A 2-run homer by Jade Albritton. And I was just getting ready to say we've only given up 1 extra base hit in 2 games, but Albritton touches them all, and we're tied at 4 here with nobody out in the 6th.
Yeah, and that's tough. That's tough there because they're starting to figure out Hawkins, and it looked like they were getting ready to maybe go to Kessler out of the bullpen, and then that time Mo just gave one up. But hey, still got a lot of softball to play here, get some outs, and get back up and get the bats loaded.
So here, after Albritton's 2-run homer, is Abby Roberts, the catcher.
Abby Roberts.
Got a base hit her last time up, reached on a fielder's choice her first time up. And Roberts in game 1 had a walk, a sacrifice, and a ground out.
Yeah, there was a little anger behind that strike just thrown there as Mo just loaded up and blew that one right by her.
Hawkins now in a 4-4 tie. This pitch is outside, 1-1 the count. Got to be careful here with Roberts at the plate, Pepper on deck. I should say Pepper Baker on deck. The pitch is a little low, 2-1 the count.
Yeah, now you look back and that missed call at home is really looming large right now after that 2-run shot. But hey, you got to put that behind you. Go get these next 3 outs, and then let's get it done.
There's a strike called. 2-2 the count. Hawkins trying for her 10th win of the year. Starting the day, Montana 9-4. And then there's a fly ball to right field, drifting back, has room, and making the catch.
It was Hopper out in right field.
Hopper makes that catch for the first out. That takes care of Roberts. And here's Baker, the center fielder.
Yeah, and Mo has struggled from time to time this year. Her change-up and breaking balls just haven't been there this season. But she's battled her way through. You know, she's had to kind of change the way she throws this season to be successful. And has done so. I mean, she's got 9 wins, so 4 losses. So doing a good job in that number 2 spot.
Yeah, 3.00 earner on average starting the day. Pitches a ball there to the right-handed hitting Pepper Baker. She had a double and scored last time up as part of that 2-run 4th inning. First time that they had scored more than 1 run in an inning all afternoon. There's a strike called, 1-1 the count. And they just matched it with a 2-run 6th. As Albritton, a 2-run homer to center field. Fastball high, 2-1 the count.
Yeah, that was a successful pitch in game 1, but you see East Mississippi's probably a little bit more focused on that here in game 2, not chasing any high heat.
ICC partnering with Mississippi State University. There's a foul ball. Count is now 2-2. And several other colleges and entities in a nearly $2 million project to accelerate job creation and encourage reshoring of advanced manufacturing jobs that have moved overseas. The Make It in Mississippi program. That's an ICC spotlight brought to you by the Family Pharmacy of Fulton. There's a swing and a miss. Strike 3, and Montana Hawkins, and the Indians needed that one. And that strikeout for Hawkins, that's her first of the afternoon, brought to you by the Pit Stop Barbecue in Fulton. Open Monday through Friday, 5:30 in the morning to 3 p.m. That's breakfast and lunch each day.
Yeah, good job at that time of just going outside the zone and got her to chase one, and the changeup floated a little bit, but it worked.
So with 2 outs, nobody on, there's a fly ball to deep left field, back to the wall, and it's gone, a home run. So 2 home runs in the inning, this one by Anna McCrary, the designated player, and now it is 5-4 East Mississippi.
Yeah, that's once again, you know, just saw the pitch that they wanted. That's what they were sitting on, and that one carried just a little bit. I thought we had a chance to maybe see Lake and Schenkel go out and get that one, but ran out of real estate, and now we've got a whole different ball game.
And now it's 5-4 with 2 outs here in the 6th. And Montana Hawkins will face the number 8 hitter in that lineup. That's Mary Morgan Fortune, the first baseman. Mary Morgan had a sacrifice fly her last time up, lined to center field. She was robbed of extra bases by Heather Dillard back in the 2nd. That was our defensive play of the game, brought to you by the National Guard. Pitch is low, 1-0 the count.
And Kessler is getting warmed up in the bullpen for the Lady Indians.
Kessler has appeared in 16 games. Andy Kirk has kind of massaged this pitching staff pretty nicely. Nobody's really been overworked. Hannah Johnson with her 21st appearance of the year. This is Montana Hawkins' 19th. Hopper in relief in Game 1, her 18th appearance of the year. This one's fouled out of play. And Kessler has 16 appearances.
And he's got a good staff. 4 pitchers that he can rely on. Hopper, who plays right field and comes in relief duty, probably could start at any other school. But she has done a good job of stepping her role this season and has done it well, coming in with 4 saves on the year. And then Kessler, out of Lafayette County High School, she's been that person as well for us to come in and close out games. And She presents a very different style than either Johnson or Montana both have.
2-1 to Fortune. That ball is low in the dirt. 3-1 the count. Yeah, Kessler, I should say, 2-1 starting the day.
And she should have a save on there, too.
Okay.
Because when I went and checked the stats the other day, when Holmes entered their stats, it messed everything up.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Ground ball to short. Moore takes care of Fortune, and that takes care of East Mississippi in the 6th. But they get 3 runs on 3 hits. 2 of them were home runs. No errors, and no one was left. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and ICC trails 5-4.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First National Bank in Pontotoc, with locations on South Main Street in Pontotoc and on Highway 15 in North Pontotoc. First National Bank, you're important to us, and we prove it.
And by JUCO Weekly. Log on to JUCOweekly.org to view scores, stats, news, photos, and videos from around the MACJC. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. That's www.JUCOweekly.org.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by Trustmark Bank in Tupelo, Fulton, and Columbus. Trustmark is a Mississippi-based bank. Yes, it's a large regional bank, but managed locally by the Baptist Student Union on the Fulton campus. The BSU is the oldest, largest, and most active religious club on campus, serving ICC students since 1954.
Will Kohlmeyer, Adam Gore back here in Fulton. We head to the bottom of the 6th. ICC behind, I believe, for the first time today.
It is.
5-4.
And we look back, man, that missed call is big now because we'll be sitting at a 5-5 tie heading to the 6th.
It'll be the number 7, 8, and 9 hitters for ICC. Langford, Schenkel, and Dillard. Last inning, we had the first 2 batters, Carver and Watterson, reach base on base hits. But then the next 3 were all set down. Let's see what Langford can do to start this inning. Looks like we've got a pinch hitter.
It's going to be Autumn Bonner coming in for the Lady Indians.
So Autumn Bonner is pinch hitting for Langford here in the 6th. Bonner in Game 1 went 0 for 3. A pop-up, a ground-out, and a strikeout. Ball 1, 1-0 the count. ICC continues to operate a shuttle service between our Fulton and Tupelo campuses. We get about 25 to 30 passengers taking advantage of that daily. ICC's shuttle service. This one's a 2-hopper to short, tough play by Mitchell. She kind of looked away as the ball was coming toward her mitt. but it found a home in that mitt, and the throw to first in time to get Bonner for the first out.
Once again, we're just hitting it too hard so it sticks in their mitts whenever they're able to get the glove out in front of it.
So here's Lakin Schenkel. I talked about ICC's shuttle service was instrumental in the college's earning the Transportation Star from the Institute of Sustainability. ICC is the only college to achieve 6-star status. It's an ICC Spotlight brought to you by our friends at the National Guard.
That's pretty impressive because most places are rated on 5 stars, so we...
6-star.
Yeah, we said...
Yet another reason why we're a premier community college, ranked among the nation's best community colleges. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Schenkel, who's 2 for 2 in this one. There's 3 for 3 up the middle as Lakin sends it up the middle, gets past the center fielder. Schenkel's going to take 2. She's going to try for 3. The throw is not in time, and Schenkel is on at third with 1 out.
That was just heads-up base running on Schenkel's part as the center fielder ran up to get it, ran past it. She saw it. She rounded 2, and there was no doubt. And she lowered her head, and she just found another gear to get over to third.
Did it hit the mid of the center fielder? I don't think it did, so you got to give Schenkel a triple. A 1-out triple by Schenkel. She's 3 for 3 in this game with a run scored and a stolen base, and she was the one that was called out at the plate on that controversial call out at the plate on the double steal back in the 4th that Adam has alluded to. We got a runner at third, and here's Dillard. They're in at the corners. Lots of ways to tie this ball game up. It's 5-4 East Mississippi, bottom of the 6th. Dillard at the plate, 0 for 1 officially in this game. She had a sacrifice bunt her first time up and struck out her last time up. That pitch is low, 1-0 the count. Haley Moore on deck.
Really got to find a way to plate this run right here. That was a big, big heads-up play by Lincoln to get not only take second, but go ahead and make the decision to go to third.
Here's Dillard. Fastball, strike call, 1-1 the count with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. 5-4 East Mississippi after ICC won game 1, 7-2.
You know, we've been asking for her to get that shot over the second baseman's head. Now would be a beautiful time for it.
Oh, she could slap that. It'll be extra bases all the way. Showing bunt, pulled the trigger back, and it's high, 2-1 the count. ICC baseball at Coahoma tomorrow for a Good Friday doubleheader. No phone lines down there in Clarksdale, so no radio for that one.
I'll have updates on Twitter.
Updates on our athletic Twitter account at LetsGoICC. There's a bunt toward the first base line, and Fortune
missed the tag.
Missed the tag. Wow.
I'm going to try to say she ran out of the baseline, but I mean you're allowed to dodge the tag.
And that's what the East Mississippi coach is asking for.
I mean, you're allowed to dodge a tag. You can't directly run into somebody.
So a bunt single by Dillard. And so the runners at the corners with 1 out. And it's 5-4. ICC trails. And here's the top of the order, and Haley Moore. What an afternoon, now evening, Haley has had. 3 for 3 in game 1 with 2 runs scored and a stolen base. Here in game 2, 1 for 2 officially with a run scored, 2 stolen bases.
Number 2, Haley Moore.
She's only been retired 1 time. She's been to the plate 6 times today. Only 1 out, bottom of the 6th. We're down by 1, showing the bunt, pulling the trigger back, and now running down to second will be a stolen base for Dillard. Dillard tried to bait the throw down to second, and Schenkel would have taken off at third, but instead we'll take the stolen base by Dillard, and now we have 2 runners in scoring position, and that takes the double play out of play.
It does, and so if we can get something to the outfield, you know, maybe just a base hit to the gap, that'll push 2 runs across.
There's a fly ball down the right field line. It slices foul. Something like that, maybe about 10 or 15 feet to the left.
Yeah, something a little bit sharper, cutting away from the outfielder. That way he can get down and run.
Boy, most of the fans that are here are on their feet. This is definitely some late inning drama here in the bottom of the 6th. 5-4, East Mississippi leads game 2 in the bottom of the 6th. 1 out. We've got 2 runners in scoring position with Haley Moore at the plate. Here's the squeeze, and a beautiful squeeze by Moore, and it's going to be a base hit, and we're going to try to score the runner from second, and we score 2, and we're up 6-5 in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, that's what we talked about, the speed of Heather Dillard. And that time, they misplayed the bunt. They were just going to hold it and kind of just lost an eye on the runner that time, and a heads-up play that time by Coach Kirk, along with Heather, to come around and score the run.
She never did stop, did Dillard. So on a bunt single, you got to give her 2 runs batted in. There was no fielder's choice or anything that was decided. So how often will you see a bunt single, which, by the way, was a perfect suicide squeeze because the runner was going with the pitch, but a bunt single by Moore, and she drives in Schenkel from third, and Dillard with that speed all the way from second. And it's 6-5 ICC with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Here's Kat Carver. The runner tries to go down to second on the steal, and she's safe. Another stolen base by Moore. That's her 3rd in this game. She's stolen second base every single time she's been on base in game 2.
Yeah, she led the state in steals her senior year out at Itawamba AHS, and she's up there this season amongst the nation's best as well.
Here's Carver at the plate. Has not been retired in game 2. There's a strike called. 1-1 the count. Carver got a double and scored in the 1st, walked and scored in the 3rd, and then got a base hit to lead off that 5th, but was stranded at second. That's a big insurance run out there at second base for Itawamba here in the bottom of the 6th. Asking for time and receiving it is Kat Carver. There's a definite buzz in the air with this 2-run rally here in the bottom of the 6th. The pitch is low, 2-1 the count. Nice counter punch by the red and blue after East Mississippi took its first lead of the afternoon in the top half of the 6th. 2-run homer by Albritton and then a solo blast by McCrary. There's the 2-1. A ground ball right back to Hackney. Fires over to first in time, and that takes care of Carver. She's retired for the first time in game 2. On the play, Moore takes third.
Good job that time by Moore. Didn't hesitate quickly. Got over to third. Now Corey up here. A chance to help the cause with the base hit.
Yeah, let's see if we can plate that 7th run. Give Montana a little extra breathing room in the top of the 7th. There's a liner foul. Just barely got.
About got Andy, and then also looked like about got East Mississippi's coach as well.
0-1 the count to Watterson.
Andy calling time. Going to come talk to Corey. Be like, look, I know I made you mad earlier today, but you don't have to kill me.
Yeah. Don't forget, tomorrow morning I'll join you at 6 and 7 a.m. here on FM 95 Sports. Special Good Friday edition of an ICC athletic update on the morning show here on FM 95 Sports. Hopefully I'll talk about this, if we can hang on, a sweep over East Mississippi. That'll be at 6 and 7 a.m. tomorrow morning here on FM 95 Sports. Here's the 0-1 to Watterson. A ground ball. Mitchell knocks it down. The throw is in time to take Watterson and ICC in the 6th. But the Lady Indians scored 2 runs on 3 hits. There were no errors, and 1 was left. We go to the 7th inning, and ICC hanging on, leading 6-5 in Game 2 over East Mississippi.
ICC Athletics on FM 95 Sports is brought to you in part by the National Guard. Always ready, always there, the National Guard. And by Pisons. Give Stan the Pizza Man a call at 862-4000.
ICC Sports on FM 95 is sponsored in part by First American National Bank in Fulton, doing business the old-fashioned way. First American National Bank with convenient locations all over Northeast Mississippi. By the Subways in Fulton, Tupelo, Saltillo, and Nettleton. Subway, eat fresh.
FM 95 sports coverage of ICC is sponsored by the McDonald's of Monroe, Itawamba, Chickasaw, Lee, and Pontotoc counties, the Baptist Student Union, Family Pharmacy of Fulton, Subway, JUCOweekly.org, and First National Bank in Pontotoc.
Time for a Predator Pest Control pitching change. It's Kara Hopper, the new pitcher for ICC, trying to save her second game of the day as ICC leads it 6-5 here in the top of the 7th.
If she's able to successfully hold on and get this save, she'll move into second all-time in career saves as well as single-season saves.
How about that?
Danny Taylor set that record last year, 6 saves in a season.
His first pitch popped up by the number 9 hitter, Taylor Hackney, the opposing pitcher. She's 0 for 2 in this game, a couple flyouts. 0-1 the count. It'll be the number 9, 1, and 2 hitters that Hopper will face, Hackney, Mitchell, and Dawkins, here in the top of the 7th. Changeup laced to deep left field, and it is foul.
They were looking changeup.
Oh, they sure were, and I mean, Hackney gave it a ride. Fortunately, it's foul, 0-2.
Well, it is a long strike. Get her swing and a miss on this one and send her back to the dugout.
That's what I'm talking about. Hackney, 0-2, fouls it straight back. Hopper was outstanding in relief in game 1. She faced 9 batters and only 1 reached. A hit by pitch to Mitchell, who was on deck. Picked up the save. Of course, she came in with a 3-2 game with runners at second and third with only 1 out in the 5th. Got a strikeout to Albritton, and then Abby Roberts bounced out to third. Then retired the Lady Lions in order in the 6th. In fact, she struck out the side. Here's a pop-up to shortstop for the first out as Moore uses both hands to get the out. And that's the first out, which is always an important one here in the top of the 7th.
It really is, but now we've really got to be careful because, as we talked about, these top 5 batters for East Mississippi are some of the best in the state, no matter who you want to match them up against. So now she's going to get this save. She's going to earn it.
Yeah, she'll have to earn that save, no doubt about that. And here is Kristen Mitchell, 0 for 2 in game 1, scored a run, and she was hit twice by a pitch. Pitch is high. Mitchell in game 2 is 0 for 3. A fly out to left, a pop-up to Watterson in foul territory at third, and then a pop-up to Moore at short in the 5th. This one's fouled straight back. 1-1 the count. Still a pretty good crowd. Of course,
you got to see the basketball crowd that usually goes over there and plays during the games. They've saw this thing's got interesting, so they've made their way back over here.
1-1 the count. Bunt. Hopper has it. The throw to first in time for the second out. Kristen Mitchell trying to bunt her way on, but Hopper had other ideas, and there's 2 outs here in the 7th, and East Mississippi is down to its last out.
Not a bad idea by East Mississippi at all that time. Wasn't expecting a bunt. Thought you might be able to sneak in a hit that time, and Kara Hopper once again doing a good job defending the position to get the out.
Here is Corey Dawkins, the left fielder, 0 for 3 in this game. Reached on an error back in the 3rd. Dawkins in game 1, 0 for 3. And this pitch just
caught it a ball.
Misses.
I think he
1-0.
He blinked.
Dawkins 0 for 3 in game 1. She was hit by a pitch. 0 for 3 in this game. This pitch is low. 2-0 the count with Stanfield on deck. Hopefully we will not see Casey at the plate here tonight. 6-5 ICC in Game 2 here in the 7th after winning Game 1 7-2. Here's the 2-0. Strike called on the outside corner at the knees, 2-1.
Wow. The other two pitches looked more of a strike than that one did.
Adam and I will have ICC East Mississippi baseball next Wednesday afternoon. Here's the 2-1, fouled out of play. In fact, that'll be our next broadcast. And then a week from tomorrow, we'll have softball, Game 1 of the best of 3 here on FM 95 Sports. The time and the opponent to be determined, as they say. 2-2 the count to Dawkins with 2 outs here in the 7th.
Fouls.
And again, another foul ball. Nice at bat here by Dawkins. Some of the ICC faithful having to walk a little bit, trying to get rid of some of this nervous energy. 2-2 the count. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. ICC trying to sweep East Mississippi. Leading Game 2 6-5. Again, a foul ball over our heads here in the ICC Alumni Association broadcast booth.
I like how you tried to set the table for the strike 3 call there.
Did you like that?
I did.
That was all we needed is Dawkins to fill her role, but she was a spoiler. So we'll do it again at 2-2. Hopper trying to save both games of a doubleheader. 2-2 the count with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. ICC leads 6-5, and Dawkins slaps it past Watterson into left field for a base hit. And the inning,
she continues.
Stays alive, and yes, and here's Casey Stanfield, the third baseman.
Well, let's just give credit where credit was due. That was a good at-bat that time by Dawkins. Battled, fouled off 4 or 5 pitches, was able to come up and just find contact and knifed it past a diving Corey Watterson.
So here's Hopper facing Stanfield. Casey went 0 for 4 in Game 1. Check swing, did not commit on the changeup, 1-0 the count. Stanfield 1 for 3 in this game. She got a base hit that started that rally last inning. Then scored on that 2-run homer by Albritton, who is on deck. Here's the 1-0 inside, 2-0 the count. Hopper trying to save it for Hawkins. Stanfield 1 for 7 on the afternoon with that run scored. Runner at first, 2 outs in the 7th. Ball 3 inside. Got to be careful here with Stanfield. Hopper behind, 3-0 the count to Casey Stanfield with 2 outs here in the 7th. Fastball upstairs, ball 4, and runners at first and second with 2 outs.
Hopper just trying to build the dramatics here is all it is. She's going to take care of this batter for us.
And Jade Albritton, who hit a 2-run homer to straightaway center her last time up to tie it back in the 6th at the time at 4-4. First pitch in the dirt. Nice job by Bonner behind the plate, not allowing that ball, which was in the dirt, to get past her, and that would have put 2 runners in scoring position.
Yeah, Bonner's going to come out and talk to Hopper right now, make sure they're on the same page. Probably just going to clear her up a little bit, talk to her, and be like, hey, let's go get this one. Don't worry about it. We can get you out of this, and we can go home and enjoy some Pisons.
That sounds good. Pisons is sounding real good right now. It's been a long time since we had that lunch in the cafeteria.
And I didn't get to go today.
I know, I didn't see you there.
I had a bag of chips.
That stomach's got to be growling for you, partner.
Just a little bit.
Here's Hopper. There's a strike called on the outside corner at the knees. 1-1 the count to Albritton. Hopper, well, 1.16 earned run average starting the day. It's down near 1. Here's the 1-1. Fastball high, 2-1 the count.
Yeah, that was her out pitch in Game 1 and just couldn't get her to chase one. Not a bad pitch for somebody that's looking to park one.
Hopper with 4 saves on the year. This is her 19th appearance of the season. There's a fly ball into left center field. It's playable, and it's going to be caught by Dillard, and ICC sweeps East Mississippi. winning game 2, 6-5, after winning game 1, 7-2. So the fly ball to center by Albritton ends the game. In the inning, no runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 were left. Put another donut on the scoreboard. Brought to you by Sweet Cheeks Donut and Sandwich Shop here in Fulton. As we begin our Aiken Veterinary Services postgame report, as ICC wins the second game 6-5. How about a game summary, Adam? Brought to you by Weatherall Printing.
I tell you, they're very proud of this ICC team. We got the plays made defensively. We faced a lot of adversity today, and they didn't back down from it. And I know a lot of people say, well, heck, they could have easily just folded tent and quit, but no, they wanted to. They were playing for pride today because they've already locked in the #1 spot, and they didn't want to lose to East Mississippi. This is a softball rivalry that has blossomed over the last few years that just continues to get better and better and better each season. So, very proud of this ICC team. A couple of more doubleheaders to wrap up the regular season, and winning 30-plus, now 31 on the season for the 3rd straight year. And so great day. Hopper came in, played big for us as well, so got it done on both sides of the ball.
And that game summary brought to you by Weatherall Printing. As ICC wins at the final score 6-5 after winning game 1, 7-2. We're back in 2 minutes with more of the Aiken